My two favorite Michaels.
Yeah.
Ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
You
Oh my.
you can't say that about Amor because how many Amors do you know?
I don't know a single more.
Well, you do. Well, you do.
I do. One. Just one.
So, have you guys ever spoken before?
Not directly, no. I've listened to Michael. I've read his posts over the years.
We've been I think we've been at some meetings together, Michael.
Have we spoke together though on
Well,
a
we've been, I think not directly like this, but we've been at, I think Sanders meeting and maybe a few.
ah,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
So you two appear to come at this whole non-duality thing from two apparent different positions. And I thought
Hmm.
it would be interesting to have you both on. Um, Michael comes at it from a place of the brain. Everything stems from the
Wait,
brain.
wait, 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 wait. You got to say Eminem or MJ.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm an M. I'm an M. Eminem comes at it from it being all from the brain. And
Hmm.
Michael Jeffreys comes at it from the point of, well, it's all just this appearing as a brain or as,
Hmm.
whatever it may appear as. So Michael Jeffreys. So what is this? What is this? What would you say to somebody who says that it's all just the brain?
Well, I just don't know what this is. So you can use any label. You could call it a brain, but I really don't know.
I would see that as a brain that doesn't know. Um, I've I suppose slanted my this perspective, not my perspective, but this perspective by reading a lot about the evolution of the brain, the evolution of consciousness, the relationship of consciousness and language. Um, it seems apparent to me that consciousness of every sentient organism emerges, that awareness, life's awareness originates in like a frog's brain. A frog relates to the world through the impressions it gets through its sensory organisms that funnel into the brain and create a world for the frog that helps it survive and reproduce. The evolution of the brain is incredible. It's wonderful, as far as they can tell, as far as they can speculate. But it seems to me that we can see that in a frog or a dog or a horse, that when the brain ceases, the organism ceases. That physical responses in the brain create um, movement of limbs, and the brain it's pretty well known that the brain does a lot of things to maintain the body. I just seems the simplest explanation for consciousness, or what we think of as consciousness. And of course, there's no such thing. It's just a label for an observation, as is the brain. It's just a label. And it's not an isolated organ. It's related to a vast interactive nervous system and the whole body, really. But it seems that consciousness itself, self-awareness, emerges within this beautiful frontal cortex of the human brain. It seems Occam's simplest explanation for me. But I am
Well,
reticent
there
to.
it is. Sorry, Michael. There it is. He just the simplest explanation. Yeah.
Mm, yeah.
So here So you were asking the difference. I couldn't give you an honest explanation with a straight face here.
An explanation of what, Michael?
Well, you just said that was an explanation, Michael. So as far as you could see. And I'm just saying here, there's just not the ability to explain anything.
By saying this is an explanation, is it not?
Well, it's just a pointer, Michael. It doesn't mean anything.
Mm. Okay, well, maybe we could leave the brain thing behind. It seems logical to hear, but I wouldn't stand my ground on that. I think that the objectified perspective itself is delusion. That it's a consensus conceptual overlay that we mistake, or the brain mistakes for reality, and that we can get nowhere with words except in the shared dream of separation where it has application. Um, Ultimately, we know nothing. Understanding is a misconception. And I think you're right. But by saying we know nothing is saying at least we know that. That's an assumption of knowing something.
Well, knowing's very useful. If you want to go to 7-Eleven, you got to know where it is. So in the dream, there is dream knowing. It's no problem. But it's doing itself. Nobody's doing it because there's no separation already.
Something has to be separate to be envisioned as not separate. Um,
Well,
sep
the best we can do is use words like, at least here is shared the word like dream. This can imagine or dream itself as Amor, as Michael Markham, as Michael Jeffreys, but it's the one.
I see, I see all, I see in that statement stacking all imaginary things, and all things are imaginary, into a pile and calling it one. It's just a big imaginary one. It's an objectification of an amalgam. There's no such thing as one. There couldn't be.
No, that's why it's all a dream. There's not, there can't be, there's not really time. But in a dream, it can be dreamt, anything can be dreamt. So that's how this makes it appear. This can never be separate, but it can dream itself as separate, apparently, obviously, right here. It's what's,
Yeah. I I see that as an objectification of an imaginary condition. Nothing can be said about a dream from within the dream. I see us
well,
as the brain's dream.
but it can be recognized by no one, by no one. It can be recognized, and that's the gift of suffering. That feeling of separation, Michael, here at least, was so goddamn painful.
Mm.
The feeling, the energetic cut off from everything was just horrible. And so that can eventually somehow, you have no idea how, but you suddenly look around and it's not there anymore.
Mm.
I would say that within the dream, there appears to be brains that everything seems to come from the brain within the dream. So
Mhm.
so the brain being in charge is just part of the dream.
Or even saying that. I think saying anything. emerges from within the illusion of separation. To draw any conclusions, and erasing my own conclusions here, of course, is that any conclusions from within the dream, and I see us as personas, as the dream itself, as whatever is dreaming. I suggest it is the brain. But the brain, looking out through the lens of its imaginary separation, has no grasp on what it thinks of as reality. There's no combination of words that you can put together that will make sense out of an imaginary condition. Nothing. I hear people say quite often, this is it, or it's all one. But that's all dream talk. It's meaningless.
Well, Michael, can we say that that's all we have? That's all there is? It doesn't matter what's said. It's always dream talk.
Yeah. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. I think that's perfect. But even that's dream talk. That's a conclusion about the dream from within the dream. Ultimately, we're left with nothing, no handholds, falling into a great unknown unknowableness alone in our self-referential memories. We are ultimately alone. We're not one. I know nothing about Michael Jeffreys' world or Amor's, the tiny bit that you're willing to share of your stories, your memories about yourself, all of which are not real. They're just fragments of um, events, and there's no separate events. There's no separate anything to be one.
Michael, did you write a book called I Am This?
I did,
So Leela, you know Leela,
of course.
she recommended I watch your video that she did of your book.
Ah,
She did like, and it really was wonderful. I really,
no,
yeah.
thank you. I resonate quite often with what you say. I think there is a common dreamland where we overlap, and that's as close as we can ever get, is our overlapping memories, I suppose. But that's close enough for me. I know that I'm alone in a world of my own memories. Um, I enjoy it. There's a tremendous freedom, a fearlessness that I'm sure you're aware of that comes. Um, I play with people all the time. Yesterday we were in the market and a great big guy was whistling. I said, "Oh, I'm sorry, there's no whistling in the store." He said, "What?" I said, "I don't know why, but there's no whistling in the store." He said, "Really?" I said, "Yeah." And he said, "You sound like my ex-wife." I said, "Well, I can see why she's your ex."
Oh my,
Oh, we, and then he saw me outside the store. I said, "Oh, you can whistle now." He said, "Man, I really like you." I said, "I like you too." But that happens all the time when we go anywhere. I love playing. I don't, I, with you and I'm more, I settle into this almost a lower layer of trying to reach you on a deeper level. And I know I can't. You're a galaxy of memories, unique to you, your childhood. Before utero, there's memories. Your first day at school, your first kiss, all of those memories create this galaxy of I I don't see it, but I picture it as a shimmering light city of light, of a hologram of light reflections from everybody that you come in contact with, some bigger lights and this I don't know, a swirling trillion cells, magical, beautiful. If you're old, if you're fortunate enough to have white hair, um,
Michael Jeffreys is getting there.
Yeah, I was just noticing that before I logged in. I'm right behind you, Michael.
you love. Um, you may look back as you hear the curtains closing and think, oh my God, it's been so wonderful. Every moment, all my guilt and shame and all my troubles and travails, it's been so damn wonderful. I think we can do that right now. Look back and say, God, it's been wonderful. And I know I'll be a goner. I'll never be seen again because I never was really here. How beautiful you are.
Yeah, so here the freedom was not in the memories, was not in the reminiscing. It was in seeing that the memories were never mine. The memories were never mine. I didn't have memories. I thought they were Michael's.
Mm.
And that ownership made them sticky and not fun. And it's only when they were seen as whatever they are, with that, they don't need an owner. They're not mine. When that stickiness of ownership falls away, then as you say, Michael, everything is beautiful, just as it is.
Mm. They can't be yours because there's no you to have them. I see you as a collage of memories, some happy, some sad, some tragic, some loss, some winning, some losing. Um, but still getting up in the morning through your darkest periods, putting your clothes on, going to work. I see you as a warrior, as a survivor. I see you as the inheritor of genes that have come down through a million years of survivors, as a hero. Um, a beautiful human manifestation, unknowable, unknown, emerging for no particular reason and dying because everything dies. Every living organism dies. Everyone you love will one day die. Um, but while we're here, look at what we can do. We can walk and talk. I saw you. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, no, I was just giggling because I teach children. So I'm with kids every day,
Oh,
and there's simply no rules, no boundaries. Anything can happen at any time when you got 20 kids.
yeah, like juggling soap. Oh, what a delight.
You can tape as happened yesterday, you can tape a chessboard down when you're outside in the lunch area after school and it's windy. You can tape it the four corners down and then come back and find a kid had peeled up the four pieces of tape and was making them into a ball. And I look at him and I like, what the heck did you just do? And he looked as shocked as I did.
Oh my, what the heck did you? Yeah, he didn't know. He was just being a kid.
No, No,
Yeah.
he was just mindlessly peeling off the tape that I just put down to hold down the board. I couldn't, it was like, and he was speechless. I
Uh,
didn't, yeah, it's just life is so, and that it's that sense of trying to control it, that imaginary sense of control that's so painful.
yeah. Yeah, it is. It's too much to control. It's too big. Uh, the fearlessness that comes, I can't explain it. Um, I saw a mother with a child that had cerebral palsy, and they were sitting in. He was waiting for his mother. He looked like he was 12 or 14 or so. His mother was getting coffee, and so I was watching him, and cerebral palsy kids are smart. I mean, they're trapped inside of a body that won't respond to their wishes, but they're there. So I got up behind him and I got down, knelt down to where he was. I said, "Hi." He gets happy. I said, "My name is Michael. It's nice to see you." So, and his mother said, "He can't understand you." I said, I know. I was just talking to him." She said, "Okay." So I talked to him for a while and fell in love with him. And then they left, but he became part of me. He literally, well, I'm talking about him. So he is part of me, and you are part of me, and so is Amor. It's, I think that's who I am. It's the people I've come in contact, the memories, the things I thought I did wrong, things I felt guilty for, the things I the things I won in life, the things I lost, the times I was made fun of, the times I threw up on a neighbor's couch because I was drunk, the time I yelled "fuck you" at a neighbor who I loved, who asked if that was me as I was pounding on my door to get in at 3 o'clock in the morning. All of those is who I am. That's me. That's all I am. But it's beautiful.
Michael Jeffreys, I've said to Michael Markham before, and I want to know what your thoughts on this are, that I think that sometimes people say the same thing speaking two different languages. So it's almost as if you're speaking Spanish and Michael Markham speaking Portuguese.
Mm,
Mm,
But you guys are saying the same thing in two different languages.
nice.
beautiful.
That's a good analogy because they're very similar but not the same, right? Portuguese and Spanish.
Yeah. Yeah. We each have our own language, our own dictionary, our own meanings for every word that we use.
Yes, and why wouldn't we? Look at a flower. You wouldn't expect a pine tree to express the same, as a daffodil or a cactus. You wouldn't tell a cactus it's doing it wrong.
Mm, true. They started a dictionary because before that, words would change. They'd flow into different meanings with different areas. And so the idea of a dictionary was to kind of freeze words where everybody would have a common place to go to find meaning. And it took me years and years and years because you start looking, if you try to define a word without using that word, it's very difficult. How do you define the word "the" or then, or well, then it would be easy. But any word you picture about things imaginary, as it was difficult to define. So that's the reason the dictionary was started. So the meaning still flows and changes over time, but not as fast as it was doing, evidently. But all of our dictionaries are different, and our thesauruses are different too. We speak a different language. When I speak of brain, it's not the brain you think of. how could we share how I feel? How could I share how I feel about that with you? And how can you explain oneness to me? I don't know.
When I use the word oneness, I oftentimes will say oneness and not even, because I don't even consider it oneness.
That's oneness with a not evenness in it, but it's still oneness. It's still an idea of all imaginary things being one big imaginary thing. I think we're left with nothing.
Well, that's that not evenness, right?
Well, even nothing is it falls away. You're not even that. You're right. Not even nothing. But that still is the assumption of knowing. Um,
Well, there's such a freedom when it's realized by nobody that there is no way to talk about this. So you
hmm.
can then it frees you up to have at it. You can now use words wantingly, obscenely, any way you like. It's like an artist whose palette just expands exponentially because you're no longer encumbered by your beliefs about right and wrong, good and bad, should and shouldn't.
Yeah.
What a shit show.
Yeah, beautiful. It's a
What a shit.
full palette. This has no limitations, so it's free to express as everything and anything.
With people like you too, that it's a different layer of a different place I go. When I go out into the world, I'm just pure play. I just play with everybody. I just love it. I love talking and playing and laughing and but this is the layer I enjoy the most, I think. Well, I don't know what I enjoy. I enjoy everything. But this is a different facet of who I am. I love to things you say will stimulate a thought, and then I'll try to go deeper into that. I'll try to start exploring oneness now to try to go deeper with that, and I love that. It's always a pleasure to be in the company of people who have found themselves in this placelessness, placelessness.
Well, I love you both. We're running out of time here. Thank you
Ah,
guys for joining.
Thank you. Thank you,
cutie.
guys. Michael, Amor, thanks for inviting me, Amor.
Yeah, we'll see you later at your group meeting
Oh, yeah, tomorrow night. Beautiful.
tomorrow night.
Good night,
Okay.
guys.
Oh, would you mind if I came to that meeting, Michael?
No, of course not. Not at all.
Okay. Well, we'll see you guys there.
All
Uh,
right,
could you
sounds
could
good.
you could you send me the place where you meet, Michael?
Michael, it's in, you know where my Facebook community is on the non-duality Facebook community. It's posted there and it's in Miranda's group. I just posted it.
And
Oh, good.
I'll send you a link to it too, Michael.
There you
Oh,
Mark.
go.
good.
Thanks,
Wonderful.
guys.
All right.
Hey,
Bye.
thanks.